Remember me?
I'd have to lose all the brain cells in my head before I forget something as fine as you.
You know I stay pimping the pros. Let's get it.
You know it's hard out here for a pimp when he tryna get this money for the rent, for the Cadillacs and gas money spent. We'll have a whole lot of bitches jumping shit.
Yo, it's your boy, man, Q Lewis, holding it down live from the 48205. We back in the building with another episode of Pimpin' the Prose. This is the second episode, so if you're not hip and didn't hear the first episode, then basically let me drop it down for you a little bit. Pretty much what we're going to do here is I'm going to read a piece of poetry that I have. And first, before we get to it, though, I'm going to give you kind of a background story on what inspired the piece. We're going to read that joint, and then going to give you a little bit of elaboration on some of the lines in there, so you can see, where I was coming from and what some of the stuff meant. But what I'm truly excited about today, though, is that after I read my piece, we're going to have our very first guest. All right, so shout out to One Single Rose, one of the dopest poets out of Detroit. Right now, probably, let's just say in the country. We just go give her that love right now. So I got One Single Rose, who is going to be our special guest today. So you'll get to hear one of her selections right after I read mine. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So without further ado, we're going to get right into the very first piece, because as I mentioned before, this isn't a long segment, so we're not going to hold your attention too long. But tonight I've got something that I've written quite a few years ago, and it's called Oglethorpe. All right. If you're not familiar with Oglethorpe, you can get your Googles out, in just a moment. But Oglethorpe is a very, very small community, a little bit north of Atlanta. This is down in Georgia. I wrote about this place because it was a place where me and the family would go every summer. We spent a lot of summers down there. My aunts and my grandma were from there. So my auntie left a house to the family, which we were, fortunate enough to vacation in, every summer. But it's something peculiar about the place. Now that I'm, an adult, I look back on the place and just kind of, think of some of the things that we encountered, as a child and as a young adult. And just kind of looking back on the place and time that it was. Just a little backstory on Oglethorpe. It actually was newly built by the time we got there. Oglethorpe originally was maybe a couple of miles away, and it was actually burned to the ground. All right, and what happened was there was basically a city full of people who had smallpox. All right, so not to make you a little afraid because we're dealing with coronavirus right now, but the whole community, or not maybe the whole community, but a lot of people in the community had smallpox and they didn't know what to do with them. So after quarantining the people, now this is, I'm not sure if this is factual, but this is the stories that I was told as a child about Oglethorpe. But from what I understand, the people of the old Oglethorpe were quarantined and the city was burned to the ground with those people still inside. So, again, I don't know how true this story is, but it's a lot of folklore, possibly, maybe not all truth. But that's what I was told as a child. So after those frequent visits, year over year, I decided to write a piece about it. And that's what inspired this next piece. And the name of that, of course, is Oglethorpe. Miles past Atlanta, off in dusty dirt roads, a house sits sturdy on land owned by generations, past and future, thus holding way for representation. For generations to come, tucked away from highways, traversing urbanized decay, leading into a grove planted with seeds of yesteryear, grown into flowers of today. Once loomed so colossal in my mind, reduced to a miniature version of what I envisioned many years before. Black presidents and wealthy black business owners made Montezuma men think anything was possible, unbeknownst to most and draped by a mental cloak, disguised ever so slightly to escape detection, and hold the slave in shackles with no actual chains. Reactions go unnoticed, drenched in false serenity, somehow satisfied with how life has stalled. Dropped anchors hold fast to what has been no less imprisonment than Alcatraz, minus physical bars. Personified by classist greed of a country born off sweat and brows of former kings and queens, attempting to erase mental recollection after being reduced to a month of 29 days, as if not shortchanged enough. Scholastic pages disintegrated, flames extinguished, once burned so bright as the North Star that pointed to freedom. Existence lay precious on shoulders strapped, slinging cotton worn on streets laced in blood. Leaked from bodies fallen prey to savages, no regard. To life, just a name on cotton once picked by scorned, prosecuted hands placed together praying for a future. We hardly respect, no respect to what has granted, what we often take for granted. That's that piece, y'all. So, again, this is just kind of a recollection piece on a place that we often visited, through my childhood and through some of my adult years, and just kind of looking back on the history of Oglethorpe, Georgia, and the history of, the black man in America. So just to give you an idea, like when I spoke about let's actually go back to one of the lines almost at the end where it says, existence lay precious on shoulders strapped, slinging cotton worn on streets laced in blood. So what that is a reference to is, basically slaves picking cotton and how we did all of that, basically we're kind of the pillars of the American economic system, because cotton probably to this day is still one of the most, traded commodities coming out of America. And basically we put all the foundation into America, and then we walk the streets on something that we don't even own, even though we put in all the work to, to build it. And that's kind of what this whole piece was about. Just kind of a nod to the work and the efforts that were put in by the African American community, almost to no resolve. It's almost like we've created something that we can't even benefit from. So that's where that piece came from. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it was a little bit thought-provoking. And with that being said, don't forget that you too can provide your work to be featured on an episode of Pimpin' the Prose. Only thing you have to do is record an audio version of any prose or poetry that you have, and just send us an email at pimpintheprose@gmail.com. That is pimpintheprose@gmail.com. That's pimpintheprose@gmail.com. So yeah, just if you have your audio file, just go ahead and send that to us via email, and you can be featured on one of our shows, which air every Tuesday and Thursday, normally around 9 p.m. You can find our podcast on all streaming platforms, including Spotify and iTunes. So make sure you do check us out. And you can go to www.eblockradio.com to check out all the replays. And now, the moment we've all been waiting for. My very first special guest, One Single Rose, will be doing her world-renowned, award-winning poem, Phat Girl. One Single Rose, take it away.
Thick, voluptuous, plus-sized, curvaceous, full-figured,
BBW. Why there's so many different descriptions to identify all this fabulosity? Just call me full of flavor, baby. Not barbecue sauce, ranch, or Lori's. Hot sauce, because I'm fierce. Photo shoot fresh, feeling like wealth. I'm about to call the paparazzi on myself. Fiery, self-confident, comfortable in my own damn skin. This poem is for double-digit divas that ignore lean and mean jabs to their self-esteem. You're no bottom feeder. Stand strong against itty-bitties with big mouths who drown under their own lightweight. Hate-filled hearts suffocate in their madness. May your inner strength produce enough buoyancy to float past these boats which sail through darkness. Big booty Judy, step lively into the light with class. 'Cause your body's too bootylicious for me. So juicy, people drop racks to artificially plump their backs and fronts. But this here grew naturally. Some talk smack about our voluptuous girls, then go under the knife, augmenting Venus and Serena with silicone-filled plastic bags. Real double D's burst synthetic bubbles and don't cost a dime. Pardon me, Dolly. Be careful cramming those triple OGs into C's. Someone may lose an eye or a tooth if you sneeze. Our massive community is stunning, Sister Big Bones. Accentuate your assets. Baby Phat and BB make cute clothes, but that doesn't mean we all should squeeze into them. We may actually avoid unflattering remarks by wearing attire that flatters our figures. Hey, stanky leg. Size 24 thighs and low rise turns up noses and raises eyes. We wear short shorts, which disappear in the Bermuda Triangle when the cottage cheese sticks. Pillsbury dough girl, cover up that overflowing muffin top screaming to be seen from your midriff. Them tramp stamps are so not sexy atop that thong, cutting your circulation as it flosses between your moons. Get your sexy on, beautiful lady with dignity. Take pride in what you were blessed with and what has grown with or against your will. Love all of you. Be self-assured that you're the bomb.com. May bat wings fly you away from insecurity and turkey necks give you confidence with grace. It's your party, so cry if you want to. But if you keep a smile on your face, you'll win the bully's race. Remember, PHAT is a lifestyle, not a fling. This poem isn't over until the Phat Girl sings.
Yo, that was fire, man. Man, I want to thank One Single Rose one more time for blessing us with those powerful words, man. Such a powerful voice. She's been doing her thing for quite some time. If you're not hip to One Single Rose, make sure you do follow her on Instagram at One Single Rose 313, man. Make sure you check her out. Definitely a dope, I won't even say poet, I'll just say a dope artist, man. So make sure you show her some love. So definitely appreciate her sliding through. Hopefully we'll get to, hear some more of her words on another episode. So yeah, I want to thank everybody for checking us out tonight, and I hope you continue to check us out every Tuesday and Thursday night. If you did miss episode 1, that's okay. You can go to eblockradio.com right now and check out that replay, and make sure that you do subscribe to wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. All right, so again, thank you guys for hanging out with us, and it's about that time for us to get up out of here and get back to our everyday life. So again, eblockradio.com. Make sure you check it out and subscribe to this podcast. And then, of course, you'll hear from me tomorrow morning on the E-Block Radio Wake and Bake Show at 10 a.m. with me, my homeboy Monk Money, and, of course, Angry Man will be holding it down in the morning on the Wake and Bake Show. So thanks for hanging out. And, of course, you already know what it is. It's Pimpin' the Prose. That's Prose. Check you guys out next time, man. It's your boy, Q Lewis, holding it down live from the 48205. Peace out, y'all.